reflection. Yeah. So our idea now is that following, this exchange of ideas through the 4 different policy recommendations that we prepare, we wanted to have like a moment of reflection, no? We know that talking about these topics requires time. I mean, for us, creating a policy briefing takes a while, no? Just thinking of all the recommendations, at least a couple of weeks and doing the research. So it's really wonderful and really massive congratulations for what you have been doing in like 20 minutes, I don't know, or 25. So the idea now is that I'm going to be sharing my screen, and it would be wonderful if one person or more than one from one of the 4 different groups feels free, wants to share a little bit, what has been this journey from the local to the national and finalizing in the European level from each of the different groups. So let me share my screen. Wonderful. So let's start. Going to refresh this just in case. Let's start with group 1. Okay.
Hello.
Someone from group 1? Wonderful.
Yeah. Actually, we divided them into the levels, so I will start with the local level. So, in our part, we thought that the most important part is from schools and local NGOs for the local level. So if they can provide more events, more conferences, and the other things for people to inform them about these opportunities, then it will make it better. And also, if they can provide more mentoring and networking from people like who had this opportunity before in their life, what was their idea, what they did, and what they gonna do in the next level. So that will be also good. And if there will be like awarding programs for the people who joined this program, and it will be more motivating for them. So for the local level, we wrote down these key points, and for the national level, someone else gonna continue.
Hello, I'm Emma. I had the national level. So we thought that when you want to start an idea, sometimes or most of the times you don't know where to start. So there should be like seminars, workshop, conferences, so it can help the new ideas to be developed. And also we said about the transparency about funding. It should be the main priority, because maybe some people will feel that they got robbed, and it's a very unfortunate situation for you to feel it about your idea. And also about the award programs, we thought that it should also have on a national level, because when you feel like you do something, and maybe if you do a good thing, you will have the chance to be in an award, you will have more motivation and more passion and for your idea.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Zainab. Thank you very much, Emma. What would you like to tell us about the European level?
See you. So for the European level, we discussed remove the super long bureaucratic process, like over 100 pages of Erasmus Plus applications, and we added recognition award programs on the EU level. So based on a personal experience, Erasmus Plus applications, depending on the longitude and the size of the program, whether if it's a mobility program or a K2 program, requires professional application writing. And as a young entrepreneur myself, I don't have that kind of knowledge. So obviously we have to consider someone who's a professional, but most of the times we don't have a budget for it. And I think we should remove this long bureaucratic process. I know the European Union needs to know the impact and the research behind the different projects. So what are they giving the money to? But as a young entrepreneur, I'd rather not start sorry, I have to mute the other computer. So I'd rather not start an application process because I know that it will be rejected automatically if I'm not a professional application writer. And it's either you do it yourself, which takes, I don't know, a lot of years of practice to write the policy language or use the policy language, or you pay someone, or you're lucky enough to have a friend maybe who's an application writer. But most of us don't have access to professionals, and they cost a lot. And just, spending money just to get money, it's already like a little bit of chicken and egg problem. So that is one problem we have along with the long bureaucratic process. And the other one, I think we need more award programs and recognition programs on the EU level as well. And maybe we can receive extra money as kind of an award, exposure, and maybe different collections, because if your idea is exposed to a bigger audience, maybe you will find another investor or another company who takes interest in your idea. So I think the award programs are good for exposure for young people as well.
Wow, thank you very much to the three of you, to group one, really, because this is extremely useful for us because this policy recommendation goes into the path of, simplification. Agota, you have touched upon something so important. Not everyone is an expert writing projects. And listen, even if we write expert projects, sometimes don't get approved. So it's a really long and, there is a lot of work behind. So imagine, as a young person starting anew, it's a wall. So from the three of you, really, Zeynep, Emma, Agota, team one, let's say, we will really translate this into the document. Guaranteed, promise. Lovely. Let's move to group two. Thank you, ladies, all of you. Policy recommendation number
Hi
2.
everybody.
Zude.
Yeah, I'm Sude from Turkey. Actually, we were Spain, Turkey, and Netherlands. It took a couple of minutes to understand the question. We couldn't complete it properly the European level, but I will mention about like mixed way about all levels. While talking, we recognize that some countries like Netherlands, they, like in another level of about the circular economy, because like, for example, in their political agenda, they have circular economy, etc. But in Turkey, we don't have it. And while talking about this, we said that, some countries like mine, we don't have even though about the sustainability, we don't have the awareness. So it would be much more better to starting from the really narrow point. Maybe like we need to go to high school students, or like we shouldn't wait for them to come. For example, there are some youth centers in Istanbul, but they're all empty. Nobody is going there, even though they organize some events about this kind of topics. Youth are not participating. So I think it would be much more beneficial to go them, like not waiting for them to come to us. And about the virtuality, I get inspiration from one of our projects, Key Action 2 projects, called as Virtual Leap. And, youth, they're not going to read, like the briefing or like documents, maybe the national agenda. So I think it's much more beneficial to make it more gamified way. In Virtual Leap, we prepared one game about the ethno sports with the virtual glass. So I think we can, develop one game about the what if, like what would be happen if we are not transferring to the circular economy, to show them how would, how world will be, to show them with the game, some kind of game, to create awareness on them. And like in there, after that we can get contacted, creating some awareness across the youth. We can get contacted with the youth centers across the country. For example, in Turkey, we have actually in each neighborhood we have youth centers, so we can get contacted with them, and like we can show our game in there, because like in Virtual Leap, we went to Ethnospor Festival. There was an Ethnospor Festival in Istanbul. It was a huge festival, and youth, they really like it. They came to see the game because, you know, like it's a virtual glass and they're going to have fun with it. So I think it will be much more beneficial. Or like we can organize this in how to say, maybe in Erasmus days, or like maybe in sustainability weeks, we can organize this kind of events, and after get all the inspo and all the ideas, outputs from the students or like the other youths, we can briefly give our national ministries, you know, some info, or like what we get from the youth, we can give our ministries the info. And about the European level, we can, you know, like as I mentioned, we can give some good practices. For example, I was talking about Netherlands, would mention really good stuff from the Netherlands, so we can, you know, like create somehow good
Workshops.
practice. Yeah, exactly. Workshops, good practice transformation to countries like Turkey or like Spain.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you very much, Sude, Pilar, all the people in focus on recommendation too. Sude, you have mentioned something so important. No, it's like also bringing different innovative solutions. No, yesterday, this is something I'm sharing this here now. No, but yesterday we were my colleague Elena and I we were having a meeting with a very young politician. No, and she was telling us that sometimes it's challenging to really bring a new perspectives, you know, into an environment where most of the people, they are parents, no, they are like they see, you know, young policies from the perspectives of like parents, like elderly generation. So bringing innovative solutions sometimes feels like, wow, this is too innovative, it's not going to work. But if we don't try, we don't know. And especially, you know, at this level that it's so much needed, no, to bring innovation. So really, thank you very much to everyone. Into recommendation number 2, promise we will transfer this into the final document. Really, thank you very much. And congratulations on this project, Suda. I want to learn more about it. Please, let's follow up, okay? With this project. Wonderful. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm moving now to group number 3, focus on recommendation 3, which was also focused on the incubator, social impact hubs. Okay, so who would like, you know, to share this with us?
Okay, Erika, I can start. Okay, so like what we said was to having this like our title was like launching local circular economy incubators and social impact hubs. We couldn't reach the European level, but okay, we had some ideas on local level and national level to boost the policy recommendation that we are preparing. And like we thought that in the local level, each local level has their specific needs. So locally, you can specify more needs, like you can focus on a niche target group. So you having these incubator programs will be a complementary program for the local vocational educational schools, like institutions, like these technical schools as well for the circular economy. And there might be some monthly basis initiatives to create circular business plans and inspire the young people. And we said the cross-sectoral partnership boosting creation of funding instruments through the Chamber of Industry or like industry itself. I mean, each city, small city, locally, they have their own Chamber of Industry, which they know which factory produce what. So how the young people could actually focus by getting trained by these chambers to understand their capacity locally, so they can create business ideas out of it to make this circular economy that is commercial enterprises combining with the social enterprises could close the gap between the industry and sustainability in the local level. So need to work a little bit more on that chamber and I don't know, vocational, that partnership,
Yes,
let's say.
yes.
And that the access to the sustained mentorship in a local level is also important to sustain business ideas. In Turkey, it's always a challenge to make even like to create an NGO, because you need like plenty number of people. I think it's the same in Greece for the social enterprise creation. Like you need at least 7 people for the funding, then you need like 19 people for the first assembly.
Wow.
So it's like social enterprises in Turkey, if you're doing a cooperative, you can make it with 7 people, but the minimum is like 7 people you need to be in the terms of funding and social enterprises.
Wow.
I mean, you can create a LTD and you can say you're a social enterprise, but it is not very, how to say, promising. So each locally, we have different challenges. And in general, in a legitimacy way, the Turkey has already enough challenges for the creation of social enterprises. But in terms of circular economy, if we close the gap with industry in the local level, it could boost the economies and our lives, of
Wow.
course.
Yeah.
And there was an idea from our friend from Greece that he said like combining also circular economy with somehow with the mental health and the creation of gardening, like also come back to the rural areas, like rural mindset, and like create tax advantages for these such kind of businesses and create some recreation areas. And it would also take us to the sustainable tourism in the local level, that we can boost that, and it can reach to the circular will benefit to the circularity of the city. And we thought in the local level there should be the funding instruments should be the niche, like it should be focusing on some local needs. For example, if I don't know, Gaziantep city, which is like border of Turkey with Syria, and there is a heavy textile, like carpet industry.
Yes.
If you are doing a project there about circular economy, try to focus on circular carpet production, for example.
Of course.
Like these such mappings
Yes.
should be done by the EU directly. The Parliament, the Commission should make
Completely.
such focuses, because if you map the heavy industries, for example, and if you try to figure out to put some circular businesses in that environments, which actually comply the other business gap, then it works for both ways.
Completely. Completely. This is so clever. Thank you, Khan. Thank you. Sorry, I interrupt you.
No. So then we have the national level. Maybe Erica would say some. We didn't have much, but for the national level.
No, we were just sharing that beyond like this idea of local incubator programs, it could be also interesting. We had the experience in Romania when we were on the training there, that we went with the youth and the youth organizations to a local food bank to discuss this idea of food waste and offer. We did like a hackathon of ideas with the youth of how they could improve their services and the challenges that they're facing. And I think this idea of putting youth talent and innovation at the service of local organizations that have specific challenges related to circular economy could be interesting as well. Like putting these two ideas together could be powerful. I'm sure that I know in Spain there are organizations like this that exist, like Youth for Impact, that put youth together with companies to try to address the challenges that they have. So this is something that we thought could be considered at the national level.
Well, thank you, Erika. Thank you, Khan. And definitely there is such a clear interlink because you were saying you haven't touched upon European level. You have, because really this interlink between the local and the national, the Gaziantep example is very powerful from my personal view. And all the experiences that are already working in Spain, Erika, this can be very easily translated into the European level. I'm just thinking that there is a committee of regional development, for instance, that at the European Parliament, okay, that they really discuss these topics, and it's part of their policy work, and we will really translate this. These are local examples are very powerful. Thank you very much, Group 3, for this very insightful work. Really, thank you very much to all of you, and Erika, Khan, and the ones participating in this group. And now I'm moving finally to Group 4, that was in charge of the last policy recommendation focused on encourage cross-sector partnership between youth actors, sustainability networks, and clean economy professionals. So connecting a different bands array of stakeholders. So who would like, to give us a glimpse of what has been discussed in Group 4? From the ones that were present in Group 4.
I think I can start to share some ideas, and then if the others wants to join me or share another thought or complete me would be lovely. So first of all, we start to discuss and realize that we have a lot of similarities in Romania, Turkey, Spain, and Greece. So there are some there's a need in order to have this implemented. So at the local level, we realize that okay, we need maybe more centralized spaces, or to gather all the information in order to be able for the youngsters and to be connected with other categories, or to be connected between them and do some work. So in order to be accessible for the public, we need to have something that is centralized and really known through everybody, and people that can actually go to this kind of activities or realize that they can be part of the network on different categories with professionals and have this mixture. But also we realize that okay, we do have opportunities in big cities, but there's an issue to access the small cities and people from there. So in order to go at the national level, because we realize okay, in our local level we do have some activities, but when we are going to the national level, we need to make sure that we have kind of programs or and not authorities, but maybe other NGOs or initiatives in order to promote what's going on and what kind of opportunities are out there, because a lot of people don't have access. So also to include the small cities, because I think it's important and valuable to have centralized at national level in every country this kind of initiatives in order to be easier to connect everybody. At European level, we discussed about creating a hub in order to use this, like we already have in Youth Circle. And the discussion went in a way that okay, there are some structures at EU level that works really well in order to have this cross-sector partnership. So replicate this and focus on the topics that we need. And also the discussion went in the living labs aspect and framework. So we do have two links there, the Enroll with Living Labs and then the living.eu that is out there. And you can check the framework and how it works. So we thought that maybe something similar at EU level can be, really impactful, and we can have everything there. So this is a glimpse of what we discuss. I'm not sure if other colleagues want to complete me or add something else.
Wow, Loredana, thank you. All the ones and someone wants to share, but just to say that this is impressive, really. Thank you very much. All the examples. And as you said, there are many good examples that are already working EU level, and we really need to make the most of it and how they can be replicated, in one way or another. Really, thank you very much. And also thanks for the examples. We will take them into account. So, massive thanks to all the participants in the 4 breaking rooms. So now what comes next? We are going to translate this big picture into the policy recommendation themselves. We are going to work through the different examples, translating this to the 3 different layers that we have, show you here, the local, the national, the European, always remembering, that for us, everything starts at the grassroots level, at the level of our organizations where things are actually, taking place, and the change, is possible. So, but never forgetting, that the policies also make this change possible. There can be willingness, but political willingness, political will is key. So what this document is trying to achieve is this, really filling the gap and, embracing a wider conversation where all our voices are included, are represented. So what is our timeline? Today is the 26th of September. We have October to really go deeper into this, close a beautiful document. And in November, we'll be sharing this document with all of you, publishing it in our website, and I guess, Erika, Loredana, also in our LinkedIn, all the different social media platforms that UCycle is present at the moment. And so far, this is it. And really, thank you very much, all of you. Very, 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 very happy for your contributions. Really, highly, highly, highly appreciated. Okay, and I think this is all from our side. And over to you, Loredana.
Yeah, thank you so much, Teresa, and thank you everybody for being involved in this. I will just share one more slide I have with you, and we're gonna be done. I think we're gonna finish in a few minutes. So I want just to tell you a few things about what's next and what we're gonna do, and then I will also invite Erika to tell a few words about it. But we will send the invitation. I will share with you. There's the QR code for the LinkedIn group and the other one on the last slide. Like I said, you're going to receive a follow-up email with all the details and everything that you need, and also this presentation. But I just want to tell you that in the next, until we finish this project, and also afterwards, you can still, have a look, see what we've done, see about the policy briefing. You can be updated with all the important information, and you can also connect with the others. So thank you again for everybody for being here and for all your contributions. So Erika, if you still want to share a few things about, okay, what's going to be next and what we're going to do in the project until the end, please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Teresa, Elena, Loredana, everyone for helping to organize this webinar. And like Loredana said, this project doesn't end here. We still have a few months left, and we'd like to invite you all, especially in the next few activities that we have planned. There's massive room for participation, especially helping us out in disseminating the social media campaign. You're welcome to participate, offer your input. We will be following up too through email so that you can know once this campaign is launching. And then in the final conference as well, we just came back from a similar conference that we carried out just this week in Brussels, and it was very interesting, this opportunity to be able to see what it says there at the European Parliament, democracy in action. So the possibility of people working with people like Teresa and Elena that are there in Brussels and talking with members of parliament and being able to see how these policy actions actually influence and policy recommendations help to influence there was very exciting. So if you're interested in that type of activity, there might be the possibility to participate in our March conference. And yes, we just wanted to thank you for your participation. If you could take time now to just scan these QR codes, especially the LinkedIn group. This is the way that we can stay connected online and share, again, any resources, any activities, any ideas that you might have related to circular economy, and to try to continue the conversation through there. So thank you all very much for your time. And we will follow up in the next couple of days with an evaluation to see what you think about this experience. And we look forward to talking with you all more and continuing the conversation. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Ciao.
guys.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
everybody, and have a wonderful weekend.
Have a great
Bye.
weekend.
Bye,
Thank you all.
guys. Yes, have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.